So, benefits of bookkeeping.
So number one, accurate financial records. We cannot stress this one enough. As I always say, garbage in, garbage out. If you have bad financial records, then you won't actually know how profitable you are. We've seen businesses where they come in and say, yeah, I've done my bookkeeping, my financial records are up to date. We see their reconciliation history never happened, their profit and loss is a mess. And we actually, after we do the bookkeeping and help some of these people, we find out that literally everything they sell, they create more of a loss on. So
Yeah.
they should technically not be even selling anything.
Yeah. So again, this helps with your profit and loss and your balance sheet. It helps you know what your financial position is. And, sadly, we've seen this happen again and again where, we're not the bookkeepers, but we've seen it in other companies where they're going to hire like a high-priced CFO thinking like, oh yeah, this person's going to help turn my business around or whatever. But the first thing the CFO asks is your bookkeeping done? And they say no. And then the CFO like refers us, because there's no point in hiring a CFO if your books are not done properly. Like
They can't work with
garbage data.
Or just
Yeah.
no information.
Yeah.
That's sometimes some of the case is that people
Yeah.
have nothing. Number two, better decision making. So data-driven business decisions based on accurate records. You can't actually make an accurate decision without having accurate records. So again, garbage in, garbage out. And so this will help you when you're coming down to do your planning and budgeting. So for example, say you have a whole bunch of cash in your business, you're trying to decide whether you should bonus that out to yourself, you're trying to decide whether or not you should pay your employees more, or if you actually need to buy more inventory. A lot of business owners we see, they may run an Amazon business, they'll have a stockpile of cash from the end of December, and what will they do? They'll pay it out to themselves, then realize, oh wait, I have no inventory. I need to put the money back in the business.
Yeah.
And
Or, they took all the money out as payroll and they're like,
Yeah.
whoops, now I have to file my sales tax return. There's no cash to actually pay the sales tax owing. To the
yeah,
government.
so we get people coming to us at the end of the year, just like that situation, and then a bookkeeper will help you have more accurate records so you can better plan and budget what you're doing.
Next is tax preparation and government compliance. Obviously, everyone knows this is what bookkeeping is good for. It simplifies the tax filing process. So if you have a regular good bookkeeper,
One that actually understands the tax code. So if they're
Yeah.
in the US, they understand the IRC. If they're in Canada, they understand the ITA and how things can actually be claimed.
Yeah, so then you're not scrambling at year end trying to finish a year's worth of bookkeeping in like 3 weeks because you need to file your tax return. So this also helps ensure compliance with tax laws, obviously like filing on time. And also a big thing with the US is Nexus, knowing once you hit Nexus and if you have to register for sales tax in that new state. So that's very important, because if you're not keeping track of your sales, let's say you're only doing your bookkeeping at year end, you might realize, okay, so now it's January, we're doing the bookkeeping for the whole year of, let's say, 2023, and then you're like, whoops, I hit Nexus for, let's say, Florida in July. You should have registered then,
Yeah.
but your books aren't updated, so you already missed it.
And when you're in a point of non-compliance, things don't get cheaper for you, they actually get a lot more expensive. So it becomes then something called resolution work, tax resolution work, and tax representation work, because they will need to, those individuals will either need to deal with the CRA or the IRS, so they're going to charge you a premium to file these and keep you in compliance. So some more benefits of bookkeeping: improve cash flow management. So this is what we're saying again about business owners, where they'll have a whole bunch of money and then it goes out, having to pay for something else when they needed to buy inventory. So this really helps you monitor your cash flow.
Next is enhanced business growth. So obviously, if your financials are updated and in order, this helps you in securing loans and investments if you want to bring in, new shareholders or investors in your company. And it can also build trust with your current stakeholders. So some franchise agreements require you, to send them your profit and loss every quarter by a certain date and things like that. So it's just good to be able to meet all those obligations.
Yeah, as well, if you have multiple investors in your corporation, say, 90% of them are silent, they will probably expect you to be sending a P&L or at least something, just an update, a management report as to what's going on once a quarter. The last one, help your business succeed. So 82% of US businesses fail due to cash flow problems. So just like what I described before, it happens all the time. So don't miss tax deadlines. Keep on top of your bookkeeping. Just keeping on top of your bookkeeping fixes all of this, and it can be a headache, but if you have a good bookkeeper, where they're very hands-off, you can be very hands-off. You don't really need to do anything except sign stuff, occasionally look at stuff, or
provide statements.
Yeah, just to provide statements or a quick update as to, okay, this transaction was this transaction was for that. Sorry, that was a personal transaction. Something like that. If you're trying to do this yourself on a budget, this may be taking you 5, 10, 15 hours a month. Whereas if you pay someone to deal with it and it's $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000 a month, you may only need to deal with this 15 minutes every month. So it really does help. And what I want to stress here is, how much do you value your own time? Do you want to spend your time doing this grunt work that we do, or do you want to spend your time actually producing money?
Yeah. Also, since you don't miss your tax deadlines, you won't have any penalties and interest. And since, again, you don't miss tax deadlines, you're compliant, there is less risk of audits and or reviews because you are compliant. One thing also people don't think about, which we've seen, sadly, is internal fraud. So if there are two people or two or more people who are in partnership together or in business together, even if they're family members, it does happen where one person takes money out of the company, kind of disguises it as something else, something like that. So, having a third party being the one doing the books kind of, I think, is more neutral. Again, we've just seen it before that it's happened.
Yeah, it's best to avoid those situations.